set my heart afire.
Hey, ShellSp0nge here, welcome back to another video. Today I'm featuring this 56 TP. Most of you already know about this tank. Most of you already probably know about the statistics of it, but I thought about doing a tank review on it anyway. So, if you don't know the tank, the only way to get it is actually through the battle pass. You have to complete all stages of the battle pass to be able to get this tank, or you pay gold to actually able to get it. So this tank has 122mm gun. It does have 4 crew members: commander, gunner, driver, loader. I'll go over the statistics of this tank soon. Okay. So if we go back to the garage here, so as I said, the only way to get this tank is through the battle pass. I've only got up to stage 8. I haven't really been playing it. So saying that, I can't actually feature the tank and I don't have a replay for you, unfortunately, of it. So it's just going to be me talking, so you can have this video in the background while you scroll through Facebook or whatever you're going to do. If you've got wireless headsets, go and do some washing up or something like that, like I do. Anyway, I'm getting off topic here. So as I was saying before, the only way to get this tank is actually grinding through this battle pass. You have to complete all, let's lose the slider here, all 50 stages to be able to get this tank for free. Or you can improve with the battle pass, complete all stages by using free experience or gold, but you just keep using 2,500 gold per stage. So yeah, that's one way to actually get the tank in your hands. What are the statistics on the tank, you ask? Well, let's take you over to my trusty site tanks.gg and I'll show you the statistics of the tank. Okay, here we are. So the statistics, I don't know, just reading it, I've kind of got mixed feelings about it. I can't see this thing dominating. And I'll explain why. This thing only has a 1,683 DPM. Right? So that's quite lackluster for a tier 8 premium tank. I will admit, because it is technically a reward tank, I don't know if it actually does get the premium features as all the other premium tanks does. And as you can probably guess, I didn't mention at the start, it is a Polish heavy tank. Alright? So anyway, I've just gone completely way off task here. So as I said, 1,683 DPM. It does 390 damage per shot. On its standard rounds, it has 221mm of penetration. But on its premium rounds, that goes up to 252, which again, I find kind of lackluster for a tier 8 premium, especially a tank that does meet tier 10. You're going up against a mouse or a super heavy tank, you're going to really struggle going through its armor. Even, like, you have to actually really focus and get its flank or something like that. Reload is 13.9 seconds with just 100% crew. Once you add all the all this stuff to it and all your equipment and stuff, that will improve. But till then, it's quite a long reload and it's quite tedious. A rate of fire is 4.5 rounds a minute. Aim time is 2.2 seconds, which is not bad. I will admit it's not too bad. Dispersion is 0.33, again, it's not too bad. So it can be a little bit of a sniper. It can shoot on the move. It's just, I wouldn't try and do so. So moving factors, dispersion, so 0.2 when moving, 0.2 tank traverse, and 0.08 on turret traverse. After firing it adds an extra 4. Alright. As we mentioned before at the start of the video, it has a 122mm caliber gun. with its standard rounds, it does have a pretty good shell velocity of 1018, so you don't have to give as much lead as you would expect. Ammo capacity, this is another thing about it. It only carries 35 rounds. I'll find that you'll probably run out of rounds quite quickly. You can't really, you have to really focus on what round you use. So I'll probably in this circumstance mostly fire APCR here. Maybe you load 2, possibly 3 HE rounds, but apart from that, with 35 round capacity, potential damage with all, if you penetrate and do 390 damage per shell, is 13,650, which is not much, especially when you've got to deal with the, let's say, 3 super heavies and stuff like that at tier 10. Yeah, good luck with that. But this is where this tank is not too bad. It's the mobility. So this thing does go forward at 40 degrees, 40 kilometers per hour. Reverse is at 14, which is pretty good. It's got a 900 horsepower. That makes it a 16.07 power to weight ratio. Ground resistance is well, I can't say they're exactly great. So they add 40 kilometers on hard, they change 40 kilometers on medium, and 26. They drop down to 26 on soft. So yeah, you're losing probably about half your speed on soft terrain. So you don't lose too much speed, but you do lose a little bit on the hard and medium. So the gun elevation, I'm not worried about the terrain resistance and stuff like that. The gun elevation is 20 degrees. Gun depression's not bad at 9 degrees. You've got 100 fully traversable turret. Okay, so everything else. The armor, the hull armor. Again, this more feels like medium, to be honest with you. Reading these statistics here, it feels like more of a medium tank than a heavy tank. So it has 80 at the front, 80 at the side. It has 60 mils at the back. Turret armor has 200 at the front, 150 on the side, and 70 at the back. It has 1450 HP, which again, I guess it's average for tier 8, but honestly, I'd like it probably about more, like around, I want to say 1700 or something like that. Base view range. It has 380 meters view range. Radio range is 440, but with the view range 380, was max in the game's 5 or 480 or 520. If you correct me in the comments, I honestly can't remember. I have a gut feeling it might be 480, but I honestly can't remember. But you still need, you won't be able to max out your view range unless you have quite a decent crew and stuff like that. So let's head over to the 3D model. As we mentioned about before, about the armor and stuff like that. So this is just, again, like just versing its own tank, basically. So it does have, like, as I mentioned, 200, but in some areas it's got 361, 380 there. So on the cheeks of the turret there. And, wow, actually, I wasn't expecting that. There is actually a waypoint on the 56T point right on the gun mantlet. So aim right as you're facing it, right next to the gun. It's got 205 millimeters of armor, so you're going through. All it's got is 200 millimeters of spaced armor. But oh, it's on the both. Okay, that's interesting to know. So that's something to keep an eye out. So when you're poking your, like, you've got your gun depression. Let's go down here. Let's go down. So when you're poking, just gotta be wary of your weak spot, like of your gun. That's interesting to know. Now we know how to shoot that. But so make sure you keep moving backwards and forwards to make that actually harder to hit. So like that. So they have more chance of bouncing your cheeks. There's automatic ricochet. If you're using your gun depression, automatic ricochet on the hull, on the frontal hull here. But be careful of showing your lower glacis, as there's a 100% chance just going through. Even on that middle bar there, you'll go through. So you have to make sure that you're using your gun depression correctly. You're not showing as much of this lower plate as possible. What is interesting though is this part here. They are not actually damaged. Like they've got armor, but you do no damage to it. You cannot aim for those what is it, binoculars or whatever it is on top there, telescopes. You actually have to try and go for the commander's hatch. So if again hold down, that commander's hatch is very hard to hit. Okay. So let's get this gun back into the middle. Side scraping. Get them. There we go. So what did I say? 80 mils with frontal armor, side armor. So you have to be careful side scraping. If you don't over angle, you make that pike nose, because it is a pike nose. So if we go a live visual here, oh, that's, oh, okay, I should have been on that in the first place. There we go. That makes things more interesting. Now we can see that green spot there. Okay, so all this purple area here is all the automatic ricochet, so the lower glaciers and stuff like that. But if you're side scraping, oh, interesting. There's a nice little targets. Just looks like where the bars of the I can't remember. I'm having a complete mind blank here of where the tracks actually go in. So you just aim from there if you can't find a spot. But because, like I said, this thing has a pike nose. It's a better view. As you can see here, side scraping is probably really isn't the best option. We could try though, however, reverse side scraping. That's probably a bit too much. Yeah, there we go. Can I get the gun pointing towards us? Yeah, there we go. We can do that. See, reverse side scraping. So if you have a wall like right here, looks like reverse side scraping is the way to go. Even if you do over angle a little bit. So if you turn our camera, oh, yeah, there we go. So if you over angle just that level slightly, you can still ricochet all the way along the side there. So maybe that's a thing for you is that keep in mind. It's just you can actually side scrape in these things. Just got to practice that reverse side scraping, and also don't poke out too much because, as you know, the back end of your tank is very, very weak. All right. So the comparison. So in the comparison of these tanks, in this tank, I've added the 50 TP prototype. I've added the Defender. I've added the Defender because it does have a pike nose. I added the 50 TP because it's the other Polish premium tank, and I've added the WZ111 because again the pike nose, and honestly I feel like it's probably in the same situation. So in the comparison of this has the worst DPM of any tank in this comparison. It has better penetration on its standard rounds than the 50 TP and the WZ111, but the Defender has the 225mm of penetration on its standard rounds. It does 390 damage, and in this comparison, the 50 TP does more damage, and same with the Defender, but has the same amount with the WZ111. Rate of fire, the Defender has a better rate of fire than the 56, but the 50 has the better rate of fire than the 56, but the Defender has a worse rate of fire than the 56. The WZ111 actually has a nice 5 rounds per minute. It's quite nice. Shell velocity. Everything in this comparison has worse shell velocity. Ammo capacity. I didn't realize the 50 TP actually only had 35 rounds. The Defender only has 30 rounds. Interesting. Okay, so maybe I was wrong about the ammo capacity. Maybe it is something standard, but the WZ111 does have 45. Aim time, 2.21. It is actually better than everything else in this comparison. Same with the dispersion. So just the gun handling in general is just everything better. It's better than everything in the comparison here. Apart from maybe the gun depression, which the 50 TB has 10. Alright. Mobility. Again, almost everything here beats everything in the comparison. The only thing is the WZ111 has better forward speed at 50 kilometers an hour. Has better terrain serious distances. The Defender has the better power to weight ratio. But overall, the 56 TP has the better mobility. Now the armor. This is what I mentioned before. This is what scares me the most. Everything in this comparison is better than what this tank has. So the 56 TP, the 50 TP has 170 on its hull at the front, 90 rear, side, 80 rear. Defender 130 at the front, 100 at the side, 90 rear, 120 at the front for the WZ111, 120 at the side, and 60 at the rear. So yeah, that's quite honestly that's quite scary. It does have 50 less HP than the Defender and the 50 TP, but the WZ111 has 1550, so it's an extra 100 HP gone there. So I probably would recommend carrying a durability device or something like that on this as in one of the equipment slots for this tank. Okay, stationary camo's got 6.27. It's a heavy tank. I'm not expecting camo to be excellent, but it is worse than everything else in this comparison. View range has the same view range as the 60 TP and the WZ111, but the Defender has worse view range at 350 meters, which honestly I thought was better than these, to be honest, because I can max out the Defender's view range easily. Anyway, I guess I'm again wrong with the view range. Anyway, I digress. So this tank cost is 9,950 gold. Honestly, I think it might be more. Oh, that's if you sell it, you get that back. However, you'll be spending a lot more than 9,000 gold to be able to get this tank if you haven't started the battle pass. Mind you, today, on the day that I'm recording this, is the last day of it, of the battle pass to be able to get this tank. I'm sure Wargaming would release it into the loot boxes or something like that in the future, but honestly, I have no idea. But yeah, I'm sure Wargaming would actually release this tank again sometime in the future. There wouldn't be another way. I'm sure there'd be another way to get it. Like they wouldn't keep it from us of getting, especially the tank collectors. There's always tank collectors out there. There's tryhards and yeah. Anyway, that's the tank review of the 56. Is it 56? Yes, 56 TP. Oh my god, I'm losing my mind. So, thank you everyone for watching. Make sure you leave a like, a subscription on YouTube is free, so please do so. It helps with helps with everything. It makes me more encouraged to actually upload videos. Please interact in comments sections and whatnot. I love reading comments. I love replying to them and all that jazz. So thank you everyone for watching. I hope to see you on the battlefield, and yeah, peace out. Bye.